Thank God they have the Flash to fix them. Not that Flash. That Flash. So they have the Flash. They can do the Flashpoint Paradox, get them out of this shitty Zack Snyder universe and into like a good universe. Like, thank God they have that. Hey guys, Art Pop here, Gil. I'm gonna review Suicide Squad while I draw Harley Quinn for this cool poster that I'm working on. Let's draw. Suicide Squad is the third film in the DC Warner Brothers Murderverse. The movie is directed by the very talented David Ayer and stars a whole bunch of folks. As I'm writing this review, I'm still undecided about my opinion. I know that the movie sucks. It's exactly what the critics are saying. Bad story, sloppy narrative, terrible editing, plot holes, pacing issues. Yet this film actually pulled off a miracle. With only 6 weeks to write and a super tight shooting schedule, it could have been much worse. It could have been Batman v Superman. Speaking of, when I left this movie, I was way more accepting than when I saw BVS, which was a complete piece of shit. This movie actually delivers fun, but it fails to do the fundamental things that a movie are supposed to do, like have structure and proper writing and so forth. So it's like a fun piece of shit. I don't know. Is that a thing? Okay, listen. I apologize if I offended anybody. So I'm drawing Harley Quinn here, and I am doing the new costume, the movie costume. There's been four actually versions of Harley Quinn, official versions of Harley Quinn, and what I'm doing is this poster with like all four of her on like a playing card or something. So this is the what I call movie Harley Quinn. So I don't actually think it's that interesting of a costume, just with the shirt and the bat, compared to her other stuff, but you know, people seem to like it, and it's fine. It still kind of fits her in her own way. So let's get back to the movie. Okay, so David Ayer, he's a fantastic writer, and he has written some awesome scripts. He's got some great ones under his belt, like Training Day and End of Watch. He also directed Fury with Brad Pitt, which is really the biggest disappointment about this film. Training Day literally had us rooting for the bad guys, and Fury was a claustrophobic look at a band of soldiers against impossible odds. Literally, Ayer was perfect for this movie. This should have been a good movie. However, the studio got involved after the backlash of BVS, and they changed the movie. You know, they even hired a different team to edit a different cut of the movie. And the more I think about the idea behind this movie, an expendable team of villains that no one will miss against an incredible foe, like, that's such an awesome idea, but they failed. You know, when it comes down to it, there are several scenes that really bothered me. One, Rick Flag needed a bomb that was underwater, and instead of like Killer Croc little moment of "I got this," the Navy SEALs pulled out air tanks out of nowhere, and then they went underwater, and then Killer Croc is like, I guess I'll go. I don't know. I'm not doing anything else. So like, they really missed a moment to give Killer Croc a redeeming moment, you know? They gave Diablo one. Deadshot had a moment. Instead, Killer Croc gets, "I go out my BET," which, by the way, that's completely racist because, like, he's black. Does he have to be black? I don't know. All right. The second thing that bothered me was the main villain, Enchantress, because at one point she pulls out like blades out of nowhere, like Mortal Kombat, and starts to fight them. And then, like, by the way, Katana would have whooped her ass. So she fights them, and then all of a sudden she jumps back to her pedal or her stand, and then like dispels all their weapons from their hand. And I'm like, bitch, you don't remember that at the beginning of the fight? So that bothered me. The other issue I had was the Joker. Leto was okay at best. He's probably the worst Joker. I still hate the tattoos and his story. I hate the use of the flashbacks. Like, they were really out of place and bad. Specifically, the Joker club scene with Common, that made no sense, didn't move the story along, sloppily directed and edited. And then at one point, I looked over at my buddy, like, because the movie went from the first act to the third act, forgot about the second act, went back to the second act, and then started going. Like, just terrible. I hated the X-Men end of the world floating garbage in the sky thing. That was dumb. Her big brother that looked just like the bad guy from Thor Part 1. I didn't like him. I thought Katana and Boomerang literally did nothing in the movie. Like, they literally did nothing. If they were out of the movie, we could actually had more time for somebody else. Other than that, I enjoyed the performances of both Will Smith and Margot Robbie. They were good. The action was fine. And they all had some time to shine against, like, the villain, the henchman, even Harley got hers. And that weird elevator scene where she just popped up on the elevator, she beat up two guys, fixed her hair, texted Joker, and when the doors opened, the rest of the team's upstairs. Like, first off, how'd you get up there? What floor did she go to? That didn't make any sense. That didn't make any sense at all. Like, did I mention that the editing and the pacing were off in this film? Okay, so, my final thoughts is we have another film that has divided the community and critics. The funny part is both parties are right. This is a fun, shitty, terrible, good movie. So, I guess those are my final thoughts. Except, let me leave you with this. Since Snyder already established in this world that our heroes kill, there's literally there's no reason for the Suicide Squad to do the dirty jobs, the jobs that heroes won't do, because our heroes kill. Think about that scene in Africa when Superman killed that African warlord. So, in a sense, Snyder and the Warner Brothers already set a world where the Suicide Squad aren't needed. Peace.
I don't know if they told you, but I'm a hitman.